gunfire, explosions. These are the sounds of war. For most of us, it's an unfamiliar sound, but for soldiers defending our freedom, it's a sound way too familiar. Embedded with the soldiers are Catholic priests and chaplains from a variety of faiths. It's the mission of ministers, priests, imams, and rabbis to help soldiers and their families through life's triumphs and tragedies. The role of a chaplain is greater than that of a priest celebrating Mass.
The Army brings you on to active duty as a chaplain. So your first responsibility is to work for the commander to make sure that the spiritual needs of his soldiers are taken care of. So you're a member of his staff, you're advising him on matters of religion, morals, morale, and then you're a counselor to soldiers, kind of like in a generic way. You counsel all soldiers and provide religious guidance to them. And then there's a deeper dimension, that would be your religious dimension. So if I was a Catholic priest or if I was a Jewish rabbi, I'd be doing the Jewish services. Muslim imam, I would be doing their services. So then at a deeper level, you do according to your denomination. So for us, that'd be certainly the sacraments, and especially the sacraments, and leading the people in Mass.
Both Chaplain Radigan and Henninger have recently returned from the battlegrounds in Iraq. Chaplain Radigan, a veteran who has served with the Army for 15 years, spent nearly a year in Iraq. Chaplain Henninger, on the other hand, would spend 8 months in Iraq on his first assignment.
As my first assignment, I had my share of apprehension, but knowing that I was with such high-skilled soldiers and the people around me were so high speed, it gave me confidence, which allowed me to relax enough to accomplish my mission, and then to do that in order to bring spiritual confidence to them. And so we were encouraging each other and supporting each other throughout the entire operation.
Ministering to thousands of troops at a time, chaplains are also in the line of fire and are risking their own lives to minister not only to the troops, but to anyone in need.
As you move along, though, you realize all around you is violence and is death. And so my motto throughout the battle was to keep my head down and my spirits up. And I tried to share that with the troopers.
In the reality of war, the chaplains had to face several harsh and sad instances, as well as surreal and unforgettable moments.
A memorable occasion for me during the Operation Iraqi Freedom is the memorial ceremonies that we provided for 2 of our soldiers in our battalion that were lost in a firefight. And it dawned on me then really how important it was for us to be able to come together as a faith community and to honor the soldiers that died, as well as to draw upon the strength of the Lord. And for us to create the memorial ceremony, one was at Baghdad International Airport, the other at Baghdad Olympic Stadium, and to come together as a community to draw strength from God and from each other, and to honor all that was sacrificed on behalf of our mission.
One thing sticks in my mind was Easter Sunday in one of the palaces celebrating Mass on the banks of the Tigris River. I remember just went over to made a point of, we had other sources of water, but I made a point of going to the Tigris River to get the water that I would use for the renewal of the baptismal vows. And there was just a good spirit that day. It was the middle of April. It was very, looked like we were successful in our mission. We arrived in Baghdad. It was just a memorable day when I celebrated Easter Mass in Baghdad.
According to the chaplains, the Iraqis welcomed the arrival of the troops and were excited at the possibility of a better and freer Iraq. The excitement of the people encouraged the soldiers and reinforced their mission.
We realized that when we were crossing the berm that there was the issue of weapons of mass destruction, but as we moved forward and the battle progressed, that we were able to move deeper into the country. We met more and more civilians, and they were beginning to tell their story about how persecuted they had been for so long. And so for many of us, for the soldiers, we realized that this is for them, that we want to be there for them to relieve them from this terror and allow them the basic rights to live.
Aside from securing peace, the soldiers and chaplains as well helped in the rebuilding of communities.
When things slowed down enough for us to be able to feel more secure, we were able to go out into the community and to use the resources that we either found or brought with us to help build up the community. We were very active in helping with the school system, with the orphanages, to rebuild them, to make them safer, to provide them with supplies that they would need for school, as well as the basics, taking them food and clothing. So, you know, the soldiers are not all about war fighting, they're about community development as well. And civil affairs has played a big role in that. And that's really what they're trying to do.
Whether administering last rites to a dying soldier or celebrating Mass, chaplains are helping young men and women become effective soldiers in body, mind, and spirit.